The perfect little snowman family. The bald guy, the somewhat, I don't know, pagan fertility idol lady snowman, and we got the little Goldilocks snowman. I gotta pick up some toys, and then I'm gonna head into the garage and do a little waxing intellectual instead of waxing on and waxing off as far as exercise goes today. I've decided today that I need a day off from exercise. I've been kind of hitting it pretty hard for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm not as young as springtime anymore. I can't work out 7 days a week and pretend like it doesn't affect me anymore. Those colors mean a lot to me. Today is an orange day. Bravo and I cheered up some kids at the hospital. We did our best anyway. And it's very tempting to throw a DVD into the DVD player, turn on the TV, and maybe jump rope for an hour, kind of get the blood flowing. Time is all we have, and during these exercises, a lot of times what I've been doing is trying to do some multitasking. Now, I spent some time at work today, and I wrote a couple of letters. And I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to use my camera and record one of those. I think it was a 24-page letter, so that means I have about 5 seconds for every page. So if anybody actually wants to read that letter, they're going to have to pause the video from time to time so they can skim the letter before the pages change. Now, one thing that I have been doing as of late during my exercise training out here in the garage is I take this crappy green camera, and for some reason the sound on this camera is really, really terrible. But what I'll do is I'll set it up there by my timer and by my DVD player and my pack of endless time smokes, and just have this running. And while I'm jumping rope or doing jumping jacks or whatever it is I'm doing, what I'll do is talk, give a speech, kind of like what I'm doing now. One of the things that I always wanted to be better at in life was speaking. I'm a pretty gosh darn good writer. Writing for me is easy. When I'm sitting down looking at a blank page which is full of endless possibilities, my mind always seems to have the right answer. But when I'm talking, a lot of times it seems like my brain moves at about 3,000 times faster than my mouth. So my speaking ability, enough to get A's in speech, but probably not enough to give a speech of JFK proportions. I've always wanted to be a better speaker. So a lot of times what I do is when I'm working out is just talk, because it always blew my mind how like a president, especially back in the era before teleprompters, could give a speech that was like an hour long and it sounded perfect every time. It just boggled my mind, because I have an amazing memory and I can memorize things. I could probably, you know, do some feat on this camera that shows, yes, I have an incredible memory. But when you give an emotional speech like that, I have found personally a lot of times when your emotions are running high, your brain just is more about making a memory than it is remembering something. I don't know if that's a fair statement or not. It's like when I'm feeling really emotional in life, the record button on my heart and my brain is on, because I want to remember that. And when I'm giving an emotional speech, it's kind of like doing two things at once. So that's one skill that I really want to work on. I want to be able to give a good talk or a good speech, or, you know, be a decent orator and still be able to remember the moment that I'm in. So maybe that's why I'm doing this stuff with the camera. One shot, one take. Trying to become more proficient at expressing myself and my ideas aloud instead of always on paper. So one of these days, when I'm actually going to work out, I'll pull out this crappy green camera again, set it up there, and just have a talk. I mean, time is all we have, and maybe someday down the line, that little bump in the snowman's belly will want to see what was on my mind a couple weeks before my son was born. So these are exciting times. All right, I'm going to go back inside, spend some timeless time with those I love the most, and see about making the world a better place.